We are counting down the 10 European countries where Christian populations are shrinking fastest through conversion to Islam. From historic Catholic and Protestant homelands losing hundreds or even thousands of believers every year, to places projected for Muslim majorities within decades, these rankings reveal the most dramatic shifts in Europe's religious landscape. Which nation's transformation is just beginning? Let us find out, starting with number 10. In Austria, the slow unraveling of a Catholic heartland is underway. Church membership has collapsed from nearly 90% in the 1970s to just under half the population today. In Vienna, once a stronghold of Catholic tradition, the Muslim community now makes up almost 15% of residents. While Austria's Muslim population grew mostly through immigration and higher birth rates, conversions play a quiet but steady role. Each year, small numbers of Austrians, often seeking a stricter moral code or a deeper sense of belonging, choose Islam over the faith of their ancestors. Official statistics are scarce, but the pattern is clear. Christianity's decline is matched by a growing, more observant Muslim community. In a country where Catholic churches once set the rhythm of daily life, the call to prayer now echoes alongside empty pews and shuttered parishes. In Denmark, the Lutheran Church once shaped every corner of society, but the landscape is changing. Around 3,000 to 5,000 Danes, most from Lutheran backgrounds, have converted to Islam, joining a Muslim community now numbering about 300,000, or 5% of the population. These conversions, though modest in number, carry outsized influence. Danish converts have helped push for halal food options in schools, prayer rooms in public buildings, and new mosque construction, sparking national debates over the role of religion in public life. As church attendance drops and pews stand empty, mosque attendance grows. Each conversion adds weight to demands for religious accommodation, challenging the Lutheran identity that has defined Denmark for 5 centuries. The result is not just a change in numbers, but a visible shift in the country's civic and cultural priorities. In Sweden, the story of religious change is measured in both numbers and anxieties. Around 10,000 Swedes have left their Christian roots for Islam, with about half remaining active in their new faith. These conversions take place against a backdrop of rising security concerns, as headlines fill with reports of gang violence in neighborhoods with large Muslim populations. While most converts cite spiritual searching or a longing for community, their decisions play out in a country once nearly 100% Lutheran just 50 years ago. Demographers now project that Muslims could make up between 21 and 31% of Sweden's population by 2050. Some forecasts even suggest a Muslim majority by the end of the century, a dramatic transformation for a nation so recently defined by its Christian heritage. The uncertainty fuels debate, as questions of identity and safety grow louder with every new convert. Belgium stands apart in Europe for its uneasy relationship with Islamic radicalism. The country has seen a handful of Christian-born citizens embrace Islam. The most infamous case occurred in 2005, when Muriel de Gauque, a woman raised in a Catholic family, carried out a suicide bombing in Iraq. Her path from a quiet Belgian childhood to violent extremism stunned a nation that once took religious stability for granted. While de Gauque's story is an outlier, and most Belgian converts seek community, not conflict, her actions fueled fears about homegrown radicalization. Studies have cited Belgium for high rates of Islamic fundamentalist attitudes among segments of its Muslim population, and the country drew international attention after a series of terror attacks linked to Belgian networks. Yet conversion-driven terrorism remains rare. The debate in Belgium is sharper about security than about demographics, and that debate casts a long shadow over the country's modest but visible flow of Christian to Muslim converts. In the Netherlands, the steady erosion of Protestant identity is visible in both numbers and daily life. Over the past decades, an estimated 15,000 to 20,000 Dutch citizens have left behind the faith of Rembrandt and Calvin for Islam. The country's Muslim population now stands at around 1 million, about 6% of the total. Most conversions occur through marriage, as Dutch Christian women join Muslim families and raise their children in a new religious tradition. Churches that once anchored every village now struggle to fill seats, while mosques see growing attendance and new construction. Demographers forecast that Muslims could make up between 11 and 15% of the Dutch population by 2050, a dramatic change for a nation that was once overwhelmingly Protestant. The pace of religious transformation here is driven less by dramatic headlines and more by quiet, personal decisions, repeated thousands of times each year. In Spain, the echoes of history are impossible to ignore. Every year, a few hundred Spaniards, mostly concentrated in Andalusia and Catalonia, leave behind their Christian roots and embrace Islam. Though the numbers are modest compared to Spain's population, the symbolism runs deep. Converts often speak with pride about reviving the legacy of Al-Andalus, the centuries when Islamic rule shaped the art, science, and architecture of southern Spain. Public celebrations of this heritage have grown, with some converts openly romanticizing the Islamic past and calling for a reconquest, not by force, but through community and demographic change. The Reconquista ended in 1492 with the expulsion of Muslims. Yet now, in a quiet reversal, Islam returns to the land that once fought so hard to drive it out. This new chapter is written not with armies, but with personal decisions and a powerful sense of historical memory. In Italy, the heart of Catholicism faces a transformation few could have imagined a generation ago. Between 70,000 and 100,000 Italians have left the church to embrace Islam, with the largest surge in conversions coming after 2012. Many cite the economic crisis as the moment when the old faith seemed to offer little hope, while Islam promised a stronger community and a sense of purpose. At the same time, Italy now holds the lowest native birth rate in Europe, with fewer than 1.3 children per woman. As parishes close and baptisms dwindle, Muslim families, often with more children, are quietly growing in number. The Vatican, once the unchallenged symbol of Christian Europe, now stands surrounded by changing neighborhoods and shifting loyalties. In the shadow of St. Peter's Basilica, the prospect of a future Muslim-majority Rome no longer feels impossible, but a question of when. In Germany, the pace of conversion has shifted from a quiet trickle to a steady stream. In the late 1990s, only about 300 Germans converted to Islam each year. Today, that number has surged to nearly 4,000 annually. Most of these new converts, between 60 and 70%, are women. Many cite personal relationships as a turning point, marrying Muslim partners and raising children in a faith different from the one they grew up with. This movement is not limited to isolated communities. It has become a visible part of German society. Demographers now estimate that by 2050, Muslims could make up 20% of the population. The country where Martin Luther once launched the Protestant Reformation now witnesses entire family lines shifting away from Christianity, with each conversion making the old religious landscape less recognizable. France now stands on the brink of a demographic milestone that would have been unthinkable just a generation ago. Nearly 100,000 French Christians have embraced Islam, with an estimated 4,000 more making the switch every year. The Muslim population in France has climbed to 5.7 million, or about 9% of the entire country, doubling in just 25 years. As churches close their doors and parish attendance drops to record lows, mosques continue to fill and new ones are built to meet demand. Demographers warn that, if current trends hold, France could see a Muslim majority by 2120. This projection, built on sustained migration and higher birth rates among Muslims, has sparked fierce debate over the future of the nation, once called the eldest daughter of the Catholic Church. Each year, as thousands leave Christianity behind, the cultural balance tilts further, raising questions about what it means to be French in the century ahead. In the UK, the numbers are unmatched anywhere else in Europe. Estimates from mosque registries and faith studies point to around 100,000 people in the UK who have converted to Islam, with 5,000 to 6,000 new conversions every year. The majority are women, over 60%, most of them white and in their late 20s. Many cite a personal search for meaning, a desire for community, or a response to global events that left them questioning their old beliefs. While some find a sense of belonging, others describe the cost, strained family ties, new expectations, and a feeling of being caught between worlds. Surveys reveal that more than a quarter of converts admit to feeling tension with the values they grew up with. In the country where Anglican cathedrals once defined the skyline, this quiet transformation is rewriting family histories one generation at a time. Across these 10 nations, one pattern stands out. Conversion accelerates where identity is fragile and birth rates collapse. This is not just numbers. It is the quiet, generational replacement of centuries-old faiths. Europe's religious landscape is being rewritten, not by force, but by the choices of its own people. What future emerges next?